I'm going to go over the news. Just going to go ahead and drop this link for everybody. All right. Good morning, everybody, on YouTube. And you guys are just joining us on Discord, TikTok. We're going to go ahead and go over the um, Scummy Dummy. I have a link in my bio for my Discord. That's the free part of it. That was good. It has a bunch of free starter info in there, books. All right. So, to start off our morning here, we're going to go over our major news, headlines, take a look at futures, economic data, earnings, etc., etc. Oh wow, the taper is near. We're getting a lot of those FUD like headlines, like the taper is near. I got a email from Seeking Alpha right now, said the Federal Reserve will conclude its latest 2-day meeting after afternoon. At this afternoon, the stakes couldn't be higher. The central intended to end its pandemic era bond purchase process known as tapering, but by stepping away from a historical level of support for the economy, the Fed has been buying $120 billion in monthly assets, including $80 billion in treasury bonds and $40 billion in mortgage-backed securities. Crazy. They're already starting to head in there with the FUD. But all right. So right off the bat, Wall Street futures were largely steady ahead of the crucial Federal Reserve decision as investors await cues on the U.S. central bank's plans to taper its pandemic-induced stimulus amid signs of rising inflation. European shares hit fresh record highs as a recent run of upbeat stocks, corporate earnings, and recovery in metal prices helped limit losses from a slide in oil stocks. Most Asian markets ended lower ahead of the Fed decision. The dollar was little changed and the gold prices slipped. That could be interesting. HYZN, they're opening up a green charging center in New Zealand. They're starting to really move off of that. I wouldn't fall into that too quickly. I don't know if that's news suitable enough. Um, which just a second, I'll answer some questions here. And OCGN is likely to go to $20 if we can get that $19 break. It's got a couple levels ahead of it. Okay, so oil prices fell as industry data pointed to the big build in crude oil and distillate stocks in the United States, the world's largest oil producers, as pressures mounted from the OPEC to increase supply, factory orders, and private payrolls. PMI data is scheduled for release later in the day. Over the same period a year ago. That's from India, Tangle, RIOT. All right. So THEK check out reporting. I'm gonna go ahead and mute him. So U.S. climate envoy Kerry sees 60% of capping global temp at 1.5 degrees Celsius. U.S. climate envoy John Kerry said that the current commitments to cutting carbon emissions meant the world had 60% chance of capping a rise in average temperature of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Republicans jolt Biden with a win in Virginia, close race in New Jersey. Republicans pushed Democrats out of the Virginia governorship, and were running even in a heavily Democratic New Jersey, signaling trouble for President Joe Biden's party heading into next year congressional elections. The U.S. CDC director has backed COVID-19 vaccines for children 5 to 11. The director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Tuesday backed the broad use of Pfizer BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine in children ages 5 to 11, clearing the way for shots to go into young arms. That's a weird way to word that. As soon as Wednesday. Credit Suisse that has tightened reins after a string of scandals. So Credit Suisse will unveil a new centralized structure on Thursday to attempt to bring its far-flung divisions to heel and draw a line under a string of scandals that have cost the Swiss bank billions of dollars. So, boba tea. Anyone wear a helmet today? Yeah, apparently last night my stream got shut down because we were doing dangerous activities on live, which we were charting. So I don't know. Sorry, YouTube. I haven't eaten yet. Hey, 2Y4S man. You sure you want me to, you know, take a look at some stocks for you? You're just here to be toxic. Sad. Sadness. What am I drinking? This is a coffee tonic. Or espresso tonic, excuse me. Got the got these people salty right now. Yeah, Team Bull's weird, man. Those dudes constantly are in my lives. It weirds me out. All right, what's up, y'all? Um, y'all, I'm about to go over these setups here really quickly. So so Netflix, y'all. I'm basically watching Netflix. I'm not even going to be using pre-market highs or lows. Below, well, I will say below 675. You have the immediate target of 673.50. So I mean, if you wanted to take it short, above, um, I would go ahead and call it at 678.75. If you can get above 678.75, and if we see an increase in volume, then perhaps we can resume the run that we were moving towards yesterday. But if not, we'll have to make the decision to go ahead and cut whatever we're in and leave it at that. So with Netflix, it has obviously this is a news type candle or reaction based candle, so you get shot up and you immediately get pulled back down. So if this is the realms that are where we're being held within, which obviously it could be that we bounce here and then bounce back up, but at the moment this is how I'm interpreting this pattern at the moment. So looking for a pullback down. If it does hit that 672, then if we do not get a bounce, then this pattern does not work out and we do not end up getting a falling wedge and probably no reversal. If you look at the daily time frame here, we are currently sitting and bound to open right around this level. So we're going to need to make an extended push to the upside around 687 in order to move or put up some sort of fight. So hopefully we see movement from the queues today, and including Facebook. So Facebook has a setup as well and a gap to fill. The gap on the daily has yet to be filled. Half of it got filled. But the remaining half still lies. So 338 is where that gap gets filled. So if we can, and you guys see on this daily chart with Facebook that this candle, which was engulfing the entire previous day, actually went and filled a gap underneath us. So hopefully, with that gap attended to, we could see a bounce out and continuation to the upside. So, all right. Good morning, Tiva. You said I can look at Tiva. Good morning, everybody. Uh, Herdy Potter. Nah, that's a choco chip bagel. Nah, that's a egg and cheese kolache. And then somebody keeps they're talking about lemonade. Um, wow. What is this off earnings? Did they have earnings yesterday? Hmm. All right, so first off, you have a pretty wide gap underneath you, and it looks like you've already gapped down 50% of the previous day's gain. Um, oh, you've pulled back. Yeah, so honestly, this is not super bullish. Um, looks like you're going to go for a gap fill. Okay, so you see how you've got a little 5 minute or a little lower time frame support right there. More than likely, you're going to see yourself down to 955 and then close at 930. So that gap is likely to get filled here on Tiva, unless there's some type of news that can keep it moving to the upside. So, as far as BBBY is concerned, y'all, it's moving like it was making a flag, but you can see heavy short action right now trying to pull this one back down. So, Futu is running in pre-market though, which doesn't actually, that one has a very clear level and a pretty prominent bear flag here on the 1 hour time frame. Sorry, I'm just looking at my scanner here this morning. So take a look at that setup on Futu. So Futu actually has a small gap to fill on the hourly as well, above $59, I think is probably a safer entry. Above $59, you could start eyeballing a run up into the $60 level, $65 level even. So, um, Sava. Okay, so this one ran. Of course, I still don't. I'm not sure if anybody figured that out if it ran just based off of technicals because it did come to a downtrend. And if you guys remember, I put out an $80 price target previously, but due to the lack of volume and momentum, we never actually made it up there. But we did in fact wick up past that resistance and get pulled right back down on that 200 at EMA on the 4 hour time frame, and then the 50 here on the daily. So in my opinion, if you can maintain and or get back above 60, that psychological number, that'll be an easier base to hold. If you go down to the 15-minute time frame and set a range, so anywhere below $54.70, more than likely will continue or will probably fade out. If Sava can sit flat and start to curl up, then perhaps we'll see another stab at 67.58. But unfortunately, we did see almost, if not more, 50% of that whole entire rip depleted here in after hours or in pre-market as well. So, um, yeah, we need to see a. Oh my God, what? I went to TikTok. Look at, oh my God, born to lose, yo. What is this? How started training with zero? Just start saving more money. Lucid 30. Do you have Lucid put stat bod? Trading view. I just had an alert go off. Where is it? Coin. I just had an alert on coin go off. Oh, okay. So you guys remember what I said yesterday? Coin. Hold on 1 second. All right. So coin is likely going to fall down 331.82 and 330.50. Potential bounces down there. And then if you do see a bounce, hopefully coinciding with Bitcoin, you'll see a run back up to the top right here at 350. So we'll see if we fade into the beginning of the day and then potentially pop later on. So yeah. All right. So, I'm gonna throw this out there. My rule of thumb is after Tuesday for the most part. I don't swing weeklies, guys. And, I just want to throw I know I keep reminding everybody, But most people are losing money on weekly options. All right. If you see a good setup and it's anywhere past the 15-minute time frame, you're probably going to want to go out. Okay. Unless you're targeting a gap and you're waiting for or you're waiting for the gap to get filled or enter the gap. That's where you could potentially utilize those weeklies, but weeklies, just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're valuable, or they're going to return your money 10 times. Most of these options are going to expire out of the money. And so as we approach Friday and with this FOMC meeting, there may be a good chance that we chop an indecision until we finally pick a direction, depending on whatever Powell says. So 800 per claw. Oh my God. Stone crab claw? What? Is that real? That's crazy. Um, so just throwing that out there. Just a quick reminder for everybody. Be really careful. It's worth it sometimes to go out a little bit longer if you see a better setup. I personally, I kind of feel like we're moving into a bearish day, but again, it's we're not set up necessarily to immediately fall. We've got a lot of stocks sitting at critical levels. We've got Apple sitting inside of an hourly bullish pennant. I've got an alert set on this one, 151.50, and a break of resistance at 151 even. So if it breaks 151 even, we should move to the upside. Apple also has the potential to revisit the supply zone at 149 as well. And if it bounces off of 149, maybe we go and we tap and we head up higher. Things like Microsoft. Um, Microsoft struggled yesterday to make and hold a new high. If you go and back out on Microsoft, you'll see it's barely holding that 9-day moving average. So Microsoft today, right, it's made all this effort and has hardly made any type of significant move to the upside, and with a loss of volume and momentum. So I'm not saying it's going to go for a pullback like total dump, but there's a good potential that you might see a pullback, at least to its support level, or and if anything, it avoided a double top by doing this. So, um, so we got a lot of indecision, I guess. So, Tesla and Facebook both have gaps to fill. This is Trading View. Matt Gray, I'll have to get that to you as soon as I can, man. So I think one of the things because Futu is running right now, I'm gonna go look at Baidu. Oh my God, that looks short. One second. That's insane. So it looks like Baidu may end up going and pulling back to 160 here. You see this big, massive, almost just like a rounded top, but you pop up and you get pulled right back down. So if you clear that level, or lose your pivot point here this morning, pre-market lows, you'll likely see Baidu fall. So shorting Baba and CP. Um, if Baba falls, I would say 160 again with that one as well. you're likely going to go ahead pull back down to 160, in my opinion. And that's right around S1, which is 158.75. So I think looking at the 5 really quick, get rid of my pivot points because, yeah, so you almost have a rounded top. So BABA above 150, 165.50, and more than likely BABA below 164. Yeah, hopefully we stay bullish and Tesla breaks out and Facebook goes into the gap. But I'm gonna kind of sit for the first 15 minutes of the day and get an idea of what direction we're heading. So yeah, I saw Futu spiking. That one's ripping right now. I don't know. Do they have earnings? And they if they break above this level, you might see Chinese stocks move in sympathy. So Futu 300 million buyback. Oh, you know what? I muted Charlie. Poor Charlie. That's funny. Barclays sees 69% upside in Alibaba and hails Baidu too. That's funny. The same day that we're talking about that. Just an article there. Wow, what an unusual setup here on Baba. What's up, Minuski? All right, I'm gonna those of you on TikTok, I will be right back. YouTube, I will be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom. And take a little breather right before it's we've got plenty of time. Oh my God, Quentin Tarantino is selling 7 uncut Pulp Fiction scenes as NFTs. Oh my God, that's actually pretty cool. I'll buy one of those. I'd buy one and never sell it. I'd have to sell it. All right, I'll be right back. Charlie November Bravo, ACNB. If we could just get past the China FUD, yeah, but there's a lot of analysts who say Chinese stocks in general, it doesn't matter what they are in some degree fraudulent. So I'll be right back to keep looking at some stocks, setting some levels. So we're also live on YouTube. The link is in the bio. Wow, AAWW just passed a 52-week high at $88. We've been trading that one forever. And oh my God, I have 90,000 followers. What the fuck? All right, guys, I'll be right back. Yeah. We're at $60 on food too. All right, I'm back. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Oh no. Yeah, ask me whatever questions you guys have right now. Whatever. Oh, we had earnings on AAWW. That's why it's so. Oh my God, yo, Futu is ripping, yo. Where's the buyback? Did we have more information on that? Because I only see $65 incoming here, maybe even 60, maybe 70. Um, well, you'll be up. Now, as far as whether or not you're going to see continuation, that one's a little bit tougher because you overstock will and is notorious for making nice solid move to the upside and then chopping and dropping pretty quickly. So I would recommend, of course, after we made a great move on overstock. So, above 102.50, I think that you actually have 105 in the store potentially, and that's only if the market moves in the direction that we want it to. Anywhere below $100, and I think we pull back. So, all right. Hold on one second. We gotta figure this out quick. Um, yeah, we're gonna figure something out for that. I didn't never expect it to get that big, so. Okay, so let's go look at our overall setup. So here's Tesla 15 minute. We're gonna look at Facebook. I don't know why am I doing that? Facebook. We need to look at its 15-minute time frame as well. Yeah, we're gonna take Facebook short below 325. Yeah, below it. Um, so at the moment, no, BRPM is still sitting in insanely flat. So my watch list right now, is not as full as I would normally have it, I suppose. And I guess I'm being a little picky today because, and really, I would just like to see some alerts go off on stocks that I have setups on, but aren't currently on my watch list. So there's a handful of stocks that I'm waiting for some sort of semblance of a bounce or some sort of recovery there.
JK Shake Shack partners with Freedom Pay for next level payment experience for that's Sandy Hotel, Alpha Kilo at JK. YSC, my side sounds agreement with Threads, one of the largest uniform providers in the UAE. That's Michael Uniform Sandy Zulu.
Close out the app. Um, wow. Do you always leave after hours on when you're day trading? No, I don't. Okay, sorry. I was just so right now I did have Crowd on my watch list. Of course, Sony. We're gonna see how Sony opens up today. We took out a little bit of a hedge there. Crowd, I have a watch above 270 for a potential push up into 274.85 with a first immediate target of 270 273.75. So watching Crowd. CrowdStrike, excuse me. Um, I do have Starbucks on the watch list. What was that?
That's Victor Legal Delta Romeo, ELBR. ADTX, Addicts, partners with CLX Health to offer addicts score for COVID-19 immune monitoring service through CLX's Trust Assure platform. That's Alpha Delta Tango X-ray, ADTX.
Damn. Um, no, I will. I can look at whatever stocks you guys, people in the Discord want me to take a look at. So, just give me 1 minute.
NHTC, Natural Health Trends, reporting its results, revenue of 14.3 million versus 16.2 million year over year. That's the November Hotel Tango Charlie, NHTC. XNCR, Xenocor, clinical data from phase 1 study of mab and
What?
endocrine tumors at NANET's multidisciplinary NET medical virtual symposium. That's X-ray Professor Charlie Romeo, XNCR.
Okay, so let's look at these stocks. So OCGN, obviously you guys are talking about this one. Actually, gonna go and look at another chart. Uh, that's a good question. I'll have to figure that out here in a second.
SAVA, Consumer Sciences, a negative report out.
Oh shit.
Website SavaFraud.com.
SavaFraud.com. Oh Lord.
That's Sandy Alpha, Victor Alpha.
Just gonna leave that alone. Okay, so Lucid came out of a falling wedge. My rule of thumb normally is basically below 50% or more of the actual pattern's reversal. So basically all of this pattern has been normally I would like to see a bounce here, right? And or the pivot point. That's a little over 50% of this pattern. And that's when it comes to rising wedges. So for Lucid at the moment, it has one more time to go tap $33. Below $33, expect a pullback from there. Now, I have, there's you could either use pivot points in this situation, which I already have up on the hourly. You can go to the 15-minute to see if you have a little bit more detailed. So right there, you see 33.50, and then potentially 32.20 using the 15-minute pivot point strategy here. And I trust my pivot points. You can go and line up, right? So if you were to take a little, you could just use the dash. So if you see right there, R1 lines up perfectly with your support there. R2, the top of that, R3. You see what I'm saying? So it has, there is respect to be had here. So that would be where I would be watching Lucid to bounce first, which is 32, 32.25. Yeah, of course. All right. So that's Lucid. Um, Thank you. Appreciate that. Mara, Lemonade is up 6% in pre-market. I have a vendetta against that stock. Crowd. Crowd just gave me an alert here. All right, nice start. That was about as obvious as it gets. 270 to 275. Looking for a $5 move there. All right, so looking at Marathon, of course, we're running with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, and unfortunately I haven't received the best response from my analysis here, but at the moment we don't quite know what we're going to see from Bitcoin here going into, and I think the FOMC rating is our decision is going to have a lot to do with where we go from here. If we lose our most recent point of control, which is 61 our 615.20 on Bitcoin, then I imagine that we're going to go and move back down to the 57K mark. If that does occur, then more than likely we're going to start seeing stocks like Mora and stuff go back for a retest of the original breakout level that they had, which is going to be $57 and maybe even 54, which is this previous supply. Our demand zone, excuse me. So right now you're holding up R3, and you've rejected R4, which is the psychological number of 65. So 65 may end up being where you consolidate underneath until you see a suitable breakout. But if you look at all of your indicators here, your TTM looks like it's a bit maxed out, might still have some juice left in it. Your MACD still has a little bit of a rollover room, but it's just starting to initiate a curl, and the RSI is just creeped over overbought, but not too much. Where do I set my alerts? What do you mean, on TradingView, or are you talking about where do I send them? What info does it use to plot supply and resistance? I imagine points of control, smaller time frame points of control. How's it going, everybody? Guys, if you're asking me about Dogecoin, Poopcoin, Shibcoin, cat body, whatever it's called, dog fart, guys, I have no idea, and I'm not going to do any technical analysis on that until after hours. Unfortunately, that's not where I'm putting my money at the moment. Yeah. So actually, that's a really good point. Most stocks are overbought. So not all of them, but most of them. Um, Facebook, very clearly. So I'm going to call this one on Facebook. Basically today, above two, excuse me, 328.75, you should see a pop to 330. Above 330, you have the immediate target of 331.50. That is also 330 is our downtrend. It is. And if we do not break above it, 330 will be where we get slapped at. And if we get slapped, we could spend the rest of the day pulling back. So be cautious. We do have a gap to fill, but that is not guaranteed. And yeah, I don't know. I get everyone's asking me to chart coins right now, so there's just so many coins that I just have no idea anymore. But yeah, so that's Facebook right there. Mora, so hopefully that one helps. Mora, OCGN. OCGN, so if you go look and take a step back out on the daily, you did in fact break downtrend. You look good there. You even have a gap filled there as well. But you're getting held down right there at the previous resistance zone, which is 1635. So for the time being, and you're still showing plenty of strength here, you're either going to want to go ahead and go for that wick fill and settle above $19. But again, I think the news is going to be suitable, or is going to be where you want to place your attention at, because that's going to let you know whether or not this is a profitable move, or if they're responding to something that is going to be profitable. I'm not sure what the news is on this one, if it's back to the approval or whatever the case may be. Somebody, you're asking me about Sophie. So last night I was talking about how we were talking about bull flags and how we usually like to see them look. So a lot of the times, if you go right here, you'll see where the stock pops up and it will hold what looks to be a bull flag. Unfortunately, this one makes a weaker, higher high, and that oftentimes you usually want to make a lower high when you're creating a bull flag. So a rejection, but a weak one. And that's kind of what a bull flag represents. So right now, you're technically waking up, right? You've made higher highs, you've spiked up, there's no consistency in that level, but are in the rejection zone. So right now, I would place my bet right now at 22.75 to go and test $23 with a good spike in volume. But you can see my whole ribbon indicator here has changed or flipped momentum. And the only bullish thing that I see at the moment is the MACD has rolled over to the downside, but you have not lost any ground and you've held this $22 level. So above $23, if you go take a step out to this daily time frame, yesterday you finished with a dragonfly doji. You are relatively far away from your nearest support, but you could still take another leg up. And I think after last night, 2365 was the next level that I could identify above you. So BBBY. So if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you've already filled a major gap. I'm not sure if this was initiated by a squeeze, but $28 is probably where you're going to want to see BBY again in order to resume uptrend. But you have made a considerable move, $15.30 all the way to $32.20. So it might be worth looking at the short interest in the float and seeing what you have there. But I am seeing GameStop with a break in uptrend. So a lot of these meme stocks are already losing their momentum to the upside. So I don't know if OSTK is going to move up. Right now, you can see on the hourly R1, that's 102.71. You got two rejections off it immediately. So we're going to go for a third one. We want to go ahead and break over 102. I'm going to set an alert right there because 105 is more than likely on the docket. If you go look at the daily, you look at the MACD, on the hourly, things are looking a little bit compressed and we don't have too much more room to run. And Overstock here has made a considerable move considering where it was just on earnings. So all the way from $78 to this R2, this 102.75. So right now you still have perhaps a little bit of room on the RSI before you finally pull back. So 104.65 is the level that I'd be watching for above you. So and if you're still in, a good stop loss for me is the hourly 200-day EMA, which is going to be at unfortunately, if you lose 100, I think shorts are going to take over, but that's sitting at 99.21. So when will we have spots open on the Discord? Probably in a week or two, maybe. Um, it's kind of it depends. So trying to meet with as many people as I can. So okay. Oh my God. Wow, that looks like you're gonna go short on Clorox. They just had earnings, I'm assuming. Yeah, they did.
Link charging and putting grant funds for DC fast chargers by Michigan Consumer Energy and Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. That's Bravo Lima November Kilo BLNK.
We just had news. I'll tweet that out.
Letter F. F out with a press release. Says new product, strong inventory make Ford America's top-selling automaker for second straight month. Ford brand SUVs post the best October results in 21 years. Ford Series expands lead. October new vehicle orders hit 77,000.
That's good news. Sorry. So anyway, at the moment, looking at Clorox. you've got a bearish pennant already formed. It looks like so. So you've already broken to the downside here, unless this is extending itself, which I highly doubt. But um, I would say anywhere. I don't know how their earnings went, but if you do lose the 165 level, I would anticipate moving back down to 164, which is your supply. The bottom of that supply is at 162.35. The point of control is 163.23 in the most recent time frame. So that's where I would anticipate falling to, personally. I'm not sure how they did on earnings. So okay, so now I've adjusted this and this is pre-market data, so that's it. That's not guaranteed. But you could see one more pop to 167.50. If you don't make it above there, then you're gonna pull you're more than likely gonna this is pretty bearish is what I'm trying to say. So all right, let's look at you said what is pulling back?
Letter F board.
All right. Real quick before I keep going. Watching crowd, I'm watching Netflix, I'm watching Facebook. I have Upstart on my watch list. I've got Twitter. I've even got T-Mobile, which has been moving up here in pre-market. But it unfortunately doesn't look super great, but it is at a crazy low. So above 121, I may end up taking T-Mus looking at the 122.65. Is Blink in? Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so Blink is on the watch list for that catalyst right there. You've got a good bounce. Let's get above the whole ribbon indicator 33.37 with, of course, the first target 33.85. Blink can move hard, but it also can fake you out so fast. So please make sure you map out a plan. And with that, I'm going to look at QCOM real quick. But I mean, after that, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits on charting everybody's ticker. I got to get ready myself. We'll take a look as soon as the market starts. If I have time, of course, I'll take a look at whatever you guys are watching. QCOM, uh, daily time frame. You're climbing above the 200-day EMA. So I would personally say you want to get into the 136 range and then pull back to the 200. You don't want to be stuck on the 200 too long. Now, one thing that I do like is that you do have rising volume. You're going into earnings, which I can't tell you what's going to happen on earnings. That's more than likely. I'm not sure. Did that happen already? Yeah, Blink is a money printer. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's after hours. Then whatever I say right now, we don't know. But QCOM could end up running into the 140 range, even as high as 145 on good earnings, and then dropping back down to the bottom of that zone at 122.80 if earnings do not go well. So you can initiate an EMA crossover, which is part of one of the main structures of my strategy. I love the EMA crossover on any given time frame, but I do know that once you cross that 200-day EMA, normally you're going to lag for just a moment until you make your way up. But of course, earnings are here, so none of that matters. So 445. Okay, good to know. How's it going? Good morning, everybody. All right. So oh, Xilinx just passed a new 52-week high. All right, everybody. On Macy's has a gap to fill to 30.51. You have a Kroger call expiring on 11/19. Uh, you look good. You look good to get over $41.40, but you have an expiration that's relatively close, so don't fuss around with that. You've got a target 41.63 above you, and then above that, it looks like you've got 42.35. All right. I got to go ahead and split up the screens. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the rundown. Today is the FOMC meeting. Smart people, you could just wait. You don't have to trade. And I know the guy that you're trading with, you're probably like, why are you saying that? But like, these are probably not the most favorable conditions for continuation. So if you're a scalper looking to capitalize on very quick moves, you might be able to get away with that in the first part of the day. We don't know what we're going to see from these stocks if we're going to see continuation. We'll be looking for strength in a specific sector, whether it be the Q, SPY, Dow, and try and find stocks that correlate with that. But if you're a new trader and where are the glasses? They're right here. If you're a new trader, remember, weeklies are how most people are going to be losing the majority of their money. A lot of people think because it's cheaper, it's better. That's not the case. Please be careful, especially today. It is Wednesday. This is right when you're going to start experiencing theta burn before you get to theta Thursday, which is when things are going to start really setting on fire. So if you feel conviction in a setup that is on a higher time frame, maybe consider going out a little bit further. If you see a setup on anything higher than the 15-minute or the hourly, it's probably worth going out a week at least. Kroger is moving up here in pre-market though. That one looks good to potentially run to $42. I like that one. So, um, no. What contracts am I looking for at Crowd? That's a great question. So for Crowd, it depends on the type of volume that we have. We've had good volume here so far. If we cross above and I'd say 271 is actually a good entry as well. If we cross 271, I'm looking for 273.65, which means if I'm using weeklies, I could use well, I guess we're going to open up right there. So I could use 272.50 or I could use 275. So the further out of the money that I go, the quicker I'm not going to need to get out of that call or that contract. So on Crowd, above 270.84 and 271, the first target will be the 273.84, and then second target will be 275 on the dot. If we move up to the first resistance with big, strong volume, and a solid push, then I'll hold on to at least half of my position and take it into the 275 level. And this is going to be more a scalp. Listen, if you're new, just sit back and do a lot of observing when it comes to like entries and exits. And I'm going to say it again. And there's quite a few people here on TikTok. If you don't have hotkeys, you should look into them. If you're going to scalp, if you're going to play quick, it's like playing soccer with no cleats. Like you're gonna juke someone out and slip and fall. Like it's you need traction and having a because it's a fast game. Having tools to keep it moving, keep it quick. That's what you're looking for. So. Yeah, day trades. If you are not holding weeklies, all right. If nobody ever made that a rule, like they should, do not hold weeklies. They are not for holding. If you want to hold something, go out to next week. It's that simple. Is it more expensive? Yes. Is it going to give you more time to react to a negative move? Absolutely. So keep that in mind. Weeklies are not your friend. Market makers, weeklies are market makers' friends. Okay. All right, so let's I'm pulling up Sony really quick. All right, so Sony has some unusual movement here. Actually, hold on one second. All right, so we're gonna find out wherever we open up on Sony here relatively quickly. All right, Hood with a crazy bounce though.
AIHS, Semion Technology, announcing signing of cooperation agreement with Bluetooth online ride-hailing operation. That's Alpha India Hotel Sandy, AIHS.
Okay.
There's the Semion.
Hold on one second, everybody. YouTube, because of the volatility that is happening today, I am going to shut down the YouTube channel, but I will stay live on TikTok for the first hour of the day. Okay? Making it clear, I will be scalping. I will be moving quickly. If you have like Robinhood or something like that, then please you know, uh, consider just sitting back and watching. Um, if you're new, only go for those highest probability of setups. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. I'll see you guys on TikTok.